Mr. Rohn said it was important to study the fundamentals. He said, work out how things work. Now, before I understood all that, I used to spend a lot of my time in my business. I estimated about 80% of my time with the 20% of employees who really produced the little. When I met Mr. Rohn, he said, no. Yeah, you got it all wrong. Leadership is all about spending 80% of your time with the 20% of people who are the most productive. And so I had to learn the fundamentals. The 80-20 rule is also known as the Pareto Principle. And it was originally coined by an Italian economist called Vilfredo Pareto back in 1895. Now, Vilfredo was a really curious guy. He took a lot of interest in understanding things. And can I say, that is a great attribute to have if you're an entrepreneur. Why I say that is that he noticed that in his garden, 20% of his pea pods produce 80% of the peas. And he thought that was interesting. As he'd studied further, he found that 80% of Italians' wealth was controlled by 20% of the population. And so he developed the 80-20 rule, or the Pareto Principle. And it doesn't only apply in economics and peas, it applies in many things right across our lives. You and I wear 20% of our clothes 80% of our time. In a book, 20% of the pages contain 80% of the valuable material. In my own commercial cleaning business, 20% of my clients produce 80% of the turnover. Now, it's not always exactly 20-80. Sometimes it's 30-70 or even 40-60. But the point is, sometimes a few things make a huge difference. And in this video, I want to share with you how to apply the 80-20 rule in 3 key areas of your life. And if you stay till the end, I will share how I actually use the Pareto Principle to create a business that essentially is a turnkey operation. I don't actually use the Pareto Principle, but it forced me to make some changes. I'll share that with you later in the video. G'day and welcome. My name is Willem, and on this channel I share the philosophies and wisdom that my mentor Mr. Jim Rohn shared with me over 30 years ago. By applying his philosophies and principles, I've been able to live a life on my own terms, and I truly wish the same for you. Mr. Rohn said, if you want more, you must become more, and that's what this channel is all about. So in this video, I want to share with you how to apply the 80-20 rule across 3 key areas of your life. Let's start with the most important area of your life, and that's your health. As we come to the end of 2022, the average global age for people when they die is 72.98. It's higher for women and it's lower for men. But there's no reason in the world that now, in the age we live in, we can't live to at least 90s or even over 100. The reality is that diseases that caused early deaths, diseases like malaria, typhoid, cholera, TB, polio, those have virtually been eliminated. The main cause of death today in 2022 are things like heart disease, cancer, and car accidents. And a lot of those things we can control. And so I think it's really important to look at the 20% of things that we can do for our health that are going to make 80% of the difference. Now, you probably already know all these, and I'm simply just reiterating what other people are telling you already. Number 1 is you've got to be around your correct weight. Look at your BMI. Is your BMI where it should be? If it's not, you must do something about it. Weight plays an important role in how long you live. The second thing you need to look at is obviously your diet. There should be a lean source of protein in every meal, plenty of fruit, plenty of vegetables. I know you know all this already. It's all common sense, but it's not common practice. And the third thing is to drink lots of water. Again, you probably know that one, but you really should be drinking around 8 glasses of water every day. Now, longevity, that is how long we live, is very closely associated with 2 key areas. The first is aerobic exercise. We all know the old saying, what you don't use, you lose. And I have found personally in my own life, as I'm now in my 60s, I have to go out and exercise, and I have to go out and exercise for at least a minimum of 30 to 60 minutes every day. It's aerobic exercise is still the best form. There's a lot of studies around it. I'm not going to go into it now, but please try and get in 30 to 60 minutes of aerobic exercise every day. And then the second thing, of course, is get plenty of rest and recreation. We all know we need to get about 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Don't stay up late at night watching crap on TV. I'm usually in bed by 8:30, 9 o'clock. That means I can get up at 5 o'clock and join the 5 a.m. club. More about that in another video. Haven't got time for it here. But those two things really affect how long you will live. Aerobic exercise and the amount of rest and recreation you get. So important, not only to your physical health, but your mental health. And while we're talking about mental health, the last key that will ensure that you live well beyond the current age for people, 72.98 years, is having a great mental attitude. Optimism is so critical to people who really want to live into their 80s, into their 90s. Bottom line, when it comes to the first area of your life, your health, 5 words really sum it up. That's the 20% that's going to make 80% of the difference. And those 5 words are these: eat less and exercise more. The second area of your life I'd like to look at is how you spend the 16 hours that you're awake every day. It was Goethe who said, "The things that matter most must never be at the mercy of the things that matter least." How have you gone in 2022? Looking back at the last 12 months, did you achieve everything you wanted to achieve? If not, why not? Is 2023 going to be any different? I know everybody's coming up with their New Year's resolutions list, but will they make it happen? And again, if they are going to make it happen, how are they going to make it happen? It is a reality that 80% of our best work comes from 20% of our time. When is that 20% of your time where you can do your best work? Now, there's a very simple exercise to do to work that out. Think back over the last week, 2 weeks, and come up with 2 or 3 days where you really nailed it. Now, you will find that those 3 days are probably pretty similar. You worked at the same time, you were undistracted, you were very focused, and it's a really great exercise to do. To look back at 2 or 3 of your most productive days and go, what did I do differently? I'll give you a great example. We're in that period now between Christmas and New Year. Jen's gone down the beach, and so I decided yesterday I'm going to get these 2 videos shot today. I got to bed early, I was up this morning early, I finished my script, and now I'm sitting down and I'm filming it. And I actually had all this put down in my calendar for today. So while most people are on holidays, I'm shooting videos and making 80% of what I want to do with 20% of my time. So it's really important to identify where you do your best work. Now, I think what you'll find is if you do this exercise and sit down and really work out, go deep, you'll find that a lot of it had to do with pre-planning and also eliminating distractions. That's certainly the case for me. Now, the interesting thing, if you're doing this exercise for your productivity, you'll find that it also can apply to happiness. When were you the most happy? So this is a really good exercise to do, not only for your productivity, but also for your happiness and your sense of achievement. When did you feel really that you were in control of your life? And then obviously, once you know that, create more of those days. Now, the third area of your life where the Pareto Principle makes a huge difference is in your relationships. The Harvard study of human development followed people from their very, very early days right through to growing up, becoming teenagers, into college, into university, and then as adults. It's the longest study of human development ever taken. And the results are conclusive. The people that lived the longest and were the happiest were the ones who had great relationships. Mr. Rohn said that we become the average of the 5 people with whom we spend the most time. Now, if it's only 5 people that can make that much difference, I would suggest that we apply the 20/80 rule to those 5 people. It's so important to choose those 5 people carefully. More than likely, those 5 people may be a spouse, they may be a couple of children, and there may be 2 close friends or 2 people that you look up to as mentors. Anyway, we're all different, but I'm sure that if you sat down, you could come up with the 5 most important people, the most influential people in your life right now. For me, obviously, one of those 5 people is Mr. Rohn. And although he's no longer here, his influence continues to affect me, I would say, every day of my life. Now, when you choose mentors or people who you're looking to for influence, I would be particularly careful. I remember when I was young, I was too quick to adopt what people were saying or what they were writing in a book. I now no longer believe that you can really have a productive life by a 4-hour work week. I just don't see it happening. So you've got to be very careful about who you choose as your mentors. I have found 5 common factors that are common to the 20% of people who have 80% of influence in my life. And they are mutual enjoyment. We like spending time with each other. Respect for one another, and not on a superficial level, but on a deep level of respect. Shared experiences. These are normally people that you like to spend time with. You enjoy traveling together, sharing stories together, playing sport together. There is a sense of reciprocity. You know that you can depend on them because they can depend on you. And of course, probably the most important one, and one really that is the glue that binds it all together, is you must have mutual trust in each other. If there is no trust, there is no relationships. So look carefully at the relationships in your life. Mr. Rohn said to me, he said, spend minor time with minor people, spend major time with major people. Don't get those 2 wrong, because they will really drain you of your energy, they'll drain you of your motivation, and I think in the end, they will drain you of your life. Now, I promise you a bonus tip at the end of this video, but before I share that tip, if you found this video useful, could you like it and even consider subscribing? There's a lot of material from Mr. Rohn that I want to share over the next 12 months and beyond. So here's what I have found in my own business. I found that 20% of my customers produced 80% of my turnover. But here's the problem. Those 20% of customers want a lot of your time. And so I found I could never really free myself from the business to the degree that I wanted to. And so I sat down and I worked out who were the 20% of people that produce 80% of my turnover. I identified them, and over time, I've actually let them go. Now, you can see here in this video that I shot only yesterday. Now, around 50% of my clients make up 80% of my turnover. And I did that for a very important reason. Number one, I'm now concentrating a lot more on B clients or middle tier clients rather than big A clients. A clients are great for turnover, but they demand a lot of your time. They don't want a 5-star service, they want a 6-star service. And you tend to spend a lot of time laying awake at night worrying they're going to lose one. And so as I've gone into my 60s and I want to spend more time traveling, I've made a conscious decision to get rid of the 20/80 and make it more even. And so now 50% of my clients produce 80% of my turnover. And the great thing is that my team look after those clients. I don't have to deal with them individually, which means I can do a lot online. I can speak to my team online, see how things are going, even when I'm traveling. So there's a great tip. If you're looking at really creating a turnkey business, a business that doesn't fully rely on you, have a look. Are you only relying on 20% of your clients for 80% of your turnover? If you are, you may want to have a serious look at it. So thanks for watching this video on applying the Pareto Principle to key areas of your life. Now, you would have noticed as I covered areas like health, relationships, and your productivity, a lot of it comes down to distractions and eliminating distractions. And so I have found that one of the skills you really need to develop, if you want to take your life to the next level, if you really want to live a life on your terms, you're going to have to say no a lot. And that's really, really tough. However, I have created a video on it. So if you would like to learn how to say no and do it cordially and still keep friends, then this video right here is probably a great video to watch next. Thanks again for watching. We'd love to hear your comments in the section below. What areas of your life do you apply the 20-80 rule? What's really important to you? What don't you compromise on? And where do you find that 20% of things make 80% of the difference? Now go out, apply the 20-80 rule to those key areas of your life. You will thank me later.